Welcome back. In this lecture, we'll show you how you can push your changes into your Git database. In other words, how to commit your changes. Let's jump in. We'll work with the Proj1 repository that we created in the last lecture. And let me talk about the terminals here real quick. I have two terminals, left and right. Left is the one I'm going to work and run the commands, and the right, I'm already inside the .git directory, and this is where I'm going to run the watch command. I'm going to run tree command using watch. I'm going to say watch -n1. That means every 1 second run the tree command. And the reason for this is, as I'm running the commands and running git add and git commit, you can actually see that appropriate changes are done inside the .git directory. This will kind of give you a good perspective and a good understanding of what is being done. Well, let us get started. As you can see, I have nothing inside this git repository. Let me run the command git status as well, and everything is clean. I'm going to create a file called names.txt, and then just echo Tom into that file. Clear cat names.txt, one line with the name Tom. Now I'm going to create two directories. Make dir cities and fruits. Now we have two directories, cities and fruits. I'm going to create a file called cities.txt inside cities folder. Now, as you can see, I added one city there. I'll do the same thing for fruits. And I'll add apple. So the situation is that we have names right at the base, and then we have two folders that we created, and then we have two files inside those two folders. Let's see how the Git will see these new files and folders. I'll do git status. As you can see, the names.txt is in red. We have few things under untracked files, and we don't really see the cities.txt, but we see cities as a directory. It's new to it. So once you add that, everything inside that will be tracked. So in order for us to track, we need to add, and let me quickly do this for you. Git add, and if I do a dot, it's going to add every file in there. But what I'm going to do is, let me show this way. Git add, I'm going to just add one file. I'll say cities.txt and cities. Instead of adding names.txt, which is right at the base, I'm just adding the one that is inside the cities folder, just to show you how things will happen. So once I executed the command, as you can see on the right hand side, it created an object there with the data. Now I'm going to run the git status one more time. Now, as you can see, now the cities.txt is ready to be committed. So if I commit now, only that file will be committed, and two other files will be just sitting there. Let me clear this and now run the git commit command. Git commit and hit enter. Since Git needs us or requires some comments in here for this particular commit, it's forcing us to enter it by invoking the editor. And this is the configuration that we did in one of the previous lectures, which is core.editor. We have set it to VI. Say adding cities.txt file. And let me save this file, and it is done. Now if I do git log, hit enter, as you can see, we have one commit on our commit history, and you can see that it's adding cities to .txt file. And once we executed this command, the commit command, it created another object, the commit object, and that's why we see that other one being created. Let me decrease the size on the right hand side here real quick, that way you can see. So there's a bunch of objects got created. Now let me switch back here and run git status command. We have two more, and this time what we will do is run git add and a dot. Now, as you can see, the git.add will add files there. That's why we see a change on the right hand side. Then we do git status just to take a look at it. We have two new files, and we can do git commit, and this time instead of directly hitting enter here, we will pass the message as a part of the command. Say added fruits.txt and names.txt, and close it with double quotes and hit enter, and it's done. Now as you can see, it created more objects in there. As you can see, and as we are adding files and committing, it is creating something in the objects folder. And as you can see, there is a folder with the two characters, and then you have a long string. If you combine all that, it's actual SHA value, and it's 40 character long, and it's taking the first two characters, creating a directory, and it's pushing it's using the rest of the 38 characters as a file name for that particular object. It could be a commit object, or it could be the actual file with the data. We'll talk about that in Git internals, but for now, as you're getting into Git, it is good enough to understand the fact that it actually creates this way. Now that this is done, let me clear this and run the command git status. As you can see, now it's clean. We have already pushed everything into our Git repository. Let me run the command git log. We have pushed two times. That's why we see two commit hashes here. And as I said, there's 1b. You'll also see that here, 1b here. That's this is the commit object, and b1, and under b1, that's a commit object. As you can see, it's b1 and 8f2046, etc. These two are the commit objects, but the other objects are created for the file that we have pushed in. Well, that's it in this lecture, and in the next lecture we'll quickly talk about the comments or the messages that we add along with the commits that we do. And just a quick 2-minute note on it, because we need to know some of the best practices when we key in some messages. Well, that's it in this lecture. See you in the next.